Welcome back to another Photoshop Gym. I'm your host, Andrew Rayburn, on behalf of the Department of Youth Services here in Belize. And we're going to be talking about this picture here that was shot on my mobile cell phone. This picture was taken on the press release conference of the World Youth Conference launch, which the artists Tanya Carter, C. Will, T.R. Shine, Bernadette Gilhari, and Super G performed the World Youth Conference song. Here I am taking a picture with them. I have manipulated this picture and turned that into this, which I call DYS Studio Presents The Crew. Now, what I have here is like a comic book effect on each of the singers with the rim light. As you can see, I have smokes in the background, and I have the car here with the money on the floor. It's like a movie trailer, right? If you look to the right down here is all my layers, all my stuff that I did, from the smoke, from the glow to the lights, even to the cars, to the highlights. Everything is done on layers. Now, how did I came up with this idea? Okay, I can see a glow here that I'm not needing. Let's get rid of that. Is simple perspective. Now, what I normally do, I take a look on the picture that I want to manipulate, and I analyze the background, which I'm seeing is pretty much almost full body shot. It's a wide shot, so I know I can use maybe a large room or something of the same perspective. That is how I came up with the background. If I go through my folder, I'll let you see the background. Here is, just let me bring that up for one moment. Here is the background that I isolated for this composition. Now, it has a similar look to the inside of this room. It's a little bit more distant, but you can see we can play with the space. So if they were actually in this room here, I've adjusted the scale so the background comes a little bit more closer. So here's where you see they're standing in a room with the lights flashing down. All this is brushes and just creative ideas to come up with, right? So if I turn off all these layers here, you can see what we're left with, right? This is how I created that environment. So you have to imagine, guys, use the perspective, the darkness in Tanya's here with the darkness of the ceiling, etc. Choosing the right font and placement is the key. That is how I came up with the crew in Photoshop. And here was some brightness and contrast. I've darkened that a little. I've used some color balance to give it a more punch, give it a little bit more tinter, darker tone to the picture. I even have here some smoke layers. Sometimes you gotta turn things on and off to see if they really make sense. I think I'll leave it on. And here is the crew logo, which is just basically a font. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Now, if I was to do something like that brand new, I would just go into open, and I would get the picture. And the first thing I would do, I'll use channels. I'll isolate the blue channel, which is the darkest one, and I would command an L for levels and make them a little bit more darker, and what is white a little bit more white. And I would command I or control I. So there you can see all that is white will be the cutout and what is black will remain. So if I can do this fairly quickly, I'll just give you a rough example. So I'm gonna paint what is white that I want to cut out, and what is black will be in the background. So here I have me here. Let's go through that very quickly. Here's my brush. Here's Tanya. Don't worry about the spills. And here's C. Wills. Pretty much majority of what I want to cut out is already in white. But this takes time, guys. I'm not going to go through the whole thing for the sake of the tour. I'm just showing you how this can be done. Now if I enable the green channel or the red, you can see the difference. Now let's say I already have what is going to be selected, all painted white. I'm going to switch to black, and I'm going to darken what I don't need. So I'm going to go in between the legs here with the brush. And also what I can use is the dodge and burn tool to make what is already darker without affecting the cutout of me and the other artists. So in this case I can switch from midtones to highlights, crank the exposure up to 100% so we can try and delete or paint black what we don't want, right? So it will take a while or a very long time to get everything right, because you just want to isolate the foreground, the subjects. So I would go through it real quick, stuff like this, until the point where I have it completely isolated. And let's say when I'm done with that, I just go on command click, and there the selection comes around my subjects. I can enable all back layers again. In this case, let me duplicate the blue channel. Okay, here we go. One other way you can do this as well, rather than using the blue channel, we can come back here and go to image calculations, select the red and the blue. We can invert it and switch the blending mode to subtract, and there we can have also a cutout of the masking, which we can use to isolate the characters, which will give us our cutout, and then we can manipulate it and create our scene as we have here. So I just want to leave that with you guys. Support our YouTube page, and this is DYS taking music to the next level, and video editing, and also Photoshop Mix Art, the crew. So please comment on YouTube and let us know what you would like for us to show you next in regards to mixing, video editing, and Photoshop design.